I'm sorry. You really got me like wiping the scraps of my purse off. Thank you so bad. So we're literally past the entrance and we're just at the Budweiser stage and I'm so excited. So beautiful here. Don't mess up a word by accident.
You are Alpha and Omega. We worship you. Hallelujah. You are worthy. Oh, you are Alpha and this is what we've come to do tonight. Yeah, you are. Come on, just one time. And we can.
Anyone looking for a experience of the first Portuguese?
It's all about you. It's all about you. We give you. One more time, Toronto, sing. We give you all the glory. We worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be praised. I will bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy name. One more time, sing it out like you believe it. Come on, let's hear you say. Oh, I will bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy, bless His holy name. Is anybody excited to worship the Lord tonight with Maverick? I said, is anybody in Toronto, Canada excited to worship the Lord tonight? My name is Anthony Evans. I am so glad to be able to be here with y'all tonight. Listen, y'all, first of all, y'all are not the audience that needs to be worshiped for at all. We can feel and we know that y'all are here to worship with what is happening up here on this stage tonight. A God who is faithful and kind to all of us. Sam, you gotta keep playing underneath me. It makes me feel more spiritual. Don't stop, it gets weird. Well, I'm a worship leader from Dallas, Texas. I'm a preacher's kid. We got any preacher's kids in the room? There's a lot of you. I got a good therapist if you need her. I'm not kidding. Anyway, what a privilege we have to worship together tonight. Y'all, I have ADD while I'm talking to y'all. I have ADD a little bit, so it's like squirrel while I'm talking to y'all right now. But y'all, I gotta tell you, Toronto, tonight y'all look like a big bag of Skittles. All the colors of the rainbow are here. And for those of you wondering, this is what heaven's gonna look like, by the way. All right? This is what it's gonna look like. Well, I've been doing this. You didn't ask anything about me, but I got a microphone in your ear, so give me just a second. I've been traveling around doing this for about 20 years. My dad, I mentioned he's a preacher out of Dallas, Texas, named Tony Evans. He's a great man. But there was a time in my life and in my career where I was hurting on the inside. I was going through messy stuff. But I'm a preacher's kid, so I know how to smile, shake hands, kiss babies, make everybody think everything's all right. Meanwhile, I am falling apart. And there was a point where I had people in my life who had no business being there. I had to cut them off. I went through a broken engagement, had to go get on a plane and go sing about the faithfulness of God the next day in front of an audience. And y'all, I was not feeling it. I'm an emotional dude. I look like a linebacker, but some days I have the emotions of a ballerina, whatever. It's okay. It works for worship leading. I remember getting up on that stage and feeling broken apart. But I grabbed the mic and I smiled and I took a breath to sing the first couple words, and I literally said, I do not. So as real as they feel, you have to bounce them off the truth to know if they are real or not. Your emotions cannot be the engine, they have to be the caboose. And the engine has to be God's word and God's truth. So he flipped open his Bible to Philippians 1:6. It says, I'm confident in this, that he who began a good work will be faithful to complete it. He said, now Anthony, this is the truth, whether you feel like it or not. So you need to stand on this truth. And he said, can I talk to you about one more thing? I need to talk to you about football for a second, which my dad at that point was the chaplain for the Dallas Cowboys. He'll think of any reason to talk about, don't do that. He'll think about any reason. He'll talk about football for no reason. And I was like, Dad, I don't know what football has to do with the way I'm feeling right now, but let's talk. He said, Anthony, if I took you to a game, if I took you to a Cowboys game and we drove for 3 hours to get there and waited in parking and had to go up to your seat and you had to do all the stuff you do, you know, it takes hours to get in places like this. He said, how would you feel if the team just huddled for 3 hours after you did all that work? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't want to be at a game where the team's huddling the whole time. What are you talking about? He said, tell me more. How would you feel if I took you to a game, you did all that parking, all that getting to your seat, spent all that money, and the team just huddled for 3 hours? How would you feel? And I was like, Dad, I don't want to be at that game. I don't understand what you're talking about. And then he asked me one more time, how would you feel? And I was like, yo, tricks are for kids. Like, what's up? What's the point? I don't understand what's going on right now. He said, Anthony, the reason why you feel dead to your faith is because you know the coach well and you know the plays well, but you are doing nothing on the field of your life to execute the plays that you know. So you do not know what it feels like to win as it relates to your faith because you're doing nothing with it. It's like, dang, okay. That's what I get for having Tony Evans as a dad. But I left that meeting with him and I was actually very excited to understand the concept that my emotions do not have intellect. I need to do things outside of the huddle. I can't spend all of my life in the four walls of a church and have all this knowledge and not be doing anything with it. And I went back to Nashville to talk to one of my friends. I was telling Ben, one of my really close friends, about what happened. Emotions don't have intellect. I got to do things outside of the huddle. And Ben was looking at me like this while I was talking to him. He was going, and I was like, why are you looking at me like that, Ben? No, Ben, I know why you're looking at me like that, and I'm not doing it because I know who you work for and I know what you're about to ask me to do, and I have trust issues, and you're not giving those kids that money that you're about to ask me for to sponsor these little kids. He works for an organization called Food for the Hungry, and I was like, nope, not doing it, because I believe that the president of your organization drives a Ferrari and lives in Malibu. So no, we're not doing that. I'll work on my trust issues with my therapist later, but right now we get working on this one thing. And he said, Anthony, you're talking about doing things outside of the huddle, getting outside of yourself. Like, you know what I do. So let's just come with me to the office at least. So I went with him to the office. I went and looked around, did everything but dig through the president's drawers to figure out if they were gonna be doing what they said. And I knew at the end of the day, Ben was gonna ask me to sponsor this kid. So I had a rebuttal for him. I was ready because I did not want to do it. So I told Ben looked at me and said, hey, you can sponsor this little boy. His name is Juan Andre. And I said, Ben, I will sponsor this little kid if you take me to meet him. I want to see him face to face because I want to know that this little boy's real. And I thought Ben was going to say, no, we can't do that. Well, you know, we can just, this picture represents a bunch of kids that all need your help. But 2 weeks later, Ben called me and said, let's go. I jumped on a plane, I went to Lima, Peru, drove up the side of this mountain with no guardrails. I was stressed out. And I looked for this little boy. I jumped out of this van and asked, where is Juan Andre? Has anybody seen this little boy? And they told me, he's not here. And I looked at Ben and was like, you're a liar. Like, you're a liar. He's not here. And I said, where is he? And they said, this little boy is down the hill, back down the hill, and he's actually at a hospital today because he's not doing well and we don't know what's wrong with him. So I went down the hill to find this little boy, walked into a hospital, a place that they called a hospital. None of us would go to this place. Some of us would not take our pets to the place that I went to. I walked in there, saw this little boy laying borderline lifeless over his mother's arms, and I will never forget what she said to me after I walked in there. I said, what is going on? What's wrong? I didn't want to be this guy that came to just show up and save the day, but I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And she said, I will never forget this. She said, I have been laying here with him for 8 hours because I cannot afford to have him seen, praying that somebody would have mercy on me and help me with my son. And I could not believe in that moment. I was like, yo, this is crazy, because all I could think about was this picture folder that they gave me, like a little folder with a picture on it, if you ever seen that before. And it took 3 minutes to fill it out, but I didn't fill it out because I wasn't about to do it. I wasn't sure. But in that moment, all I could think about was this picture folder that I had in my pocket that I did not fill out, that if I would have filled out, this little boy would not be in the scenario that he's in right now. He looked over at me and said, I was really excited to play soccer with you today, but I just don't feel well. I grabbed this little kid, we took him to a place that was better. We took him to actually 2 different hospitals. Then we found one that was decent, and I ran up to the counter and was like, what's up? We need to have this little boy seen. And they said, I was like, how much is it? What's going on? They told me it's gonna be $38 to have this little boy seen. And I was like, today has been about $38? All this has been about $38. Because mind you, when Ben asked me to first sponsor him, I said no, because I had trust issues, but I also said no, because that's right when gas went up to $6.6 million a gallon. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, Ben, can I get sponsored? Like, what's up? Like, are y'all doing that? No, I don't. Ben said to me, because he knows me well, he said, Anthony, I bet you can do it. You think that you can't do it, but I bet you can. Go through your credit card receipts and look to see what's repetitive. And for me, at between 7 and 9 o'clock every morning, the same place was on my credit card receipts, like every morning, all the way across the whole way. I feel like you're judging me. Somebody's, it's like, girl, it was Starbucks. I know it was Starbucks, girl. You don't know me. Anyway, I added up all the times I went to Starbucks that month, and I had spent enough money on coffee to sponsor 2 kids. I spent enough money on coffee to sponsor 2 kids, and as I took this little boy back there and got him handled, I sat in the lobby of this hospital and took 3 minutes to fill out this form and thought, my exchange is coffee for him to have food, education, essentials, disaster relief. All that stuff is going to be happening in this little boy's life because I decided to take 3 minutes. Now, I have a very Christian way of saying no to people. Being a preacher's kid, another thing we develop is skills to say no, but not do it mean. And the way that I say no to people is, let me pray about it. Let me pray about it. Somebody up here said it. Has anybody done that all the way to the back? Has anybody ever done that before? I can see y'all back there. Anybody? Those of you who are saying you haven't, you're lying. I said, let me pray about it. And Ben looked me right in the face and said, Anthony, James, the 1st chapter commands you to take care of the widow and the orphan. When is it ever okay to pray about a command? Tonight, in just a few moments, well, when I left that city with that little boy, I spent 2 or 3 days with him, and I've been back again to see him, and I have 3 kids that I sponsor now, because I would never, first of all, I would never be up here asking you to be a part of something that we're not doing ourselves. I spent days upon days with this little boy, and I promised him, and I promised Food for the Hungry, and my sister, who I do a lot of tours with, her name is Priscilla Shire, we are on tour together all the time. I promised, yay, Priscilla. I promised that as long as I have the opportunity to do this, to give us something to do together tonight outside of the huddle, when we leave this place, people around the globe will know something has happened in this space that is amazing and that is beautiful tonight. Food for the Hungry is here along with Maverick City and Kirk Franklin, and they are making it so easy in just a couple minutes, in just about a minute. I'm gonna ask you to join us. All you have to do, they made it wildly simple because this is just such a big space. They are going to bring the packets to you where you are. In just a second, I'm gonna ask for your hands to go up all over this place, and I'm telling you guys that there is nothing that you will ever give the Lord that he won't give back better. Luke says, give and it will be given unto you. Pressed down, churchy people, help me. Shaken together, and that is what has happened, and running over, that is what has happened in my life and what will happen in our lives collectively. I know that this is a big amphitheater. Those of you in the back may feel like he's not talking to me, he's way up there. No, in a space like this, thousands of lives of kids can be changed. In just a second, I'm gonna ask you guys to raise your hand. These packets are gonna be coming around to you, and it is real simple. You'll get handed one of these, and inside, there is a, I got a lot going on right here. There basically is a folder that opens, you fill this out, you tear this off, and there's an envelope inside that you put that in, and you'll hand it back to the volunteer in the aisle. Or there are tables, there's one table up the center, 2 tables out here. It's simple as that. They have pens with them, you don't have
kingdom is coming. It's inside out. It's upside down. It remembers forgotten, dignifies the
God, that's that memory that I'll always keep with me. Having a chance to
You've never been closer than you are right now.
Hands up all over the room, we call you Jireh. Oh, Toronto, 'cause you are
Jireh, you are enough. I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.
I don't wanna forget how I feel right now on the mountaintop. I can see so clear what it's all about.
Stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't wanna forget how I feel right now. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. I
Somebody give Jesus some praise for being with you. We gotta go. Y'all, we got a new album dropping Friday. I don't know if you heard. It's called Kingdom Book 1.
Wow.
So can we do just a couple new songs before we leave?
Please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Till next time, bye.